What's good, people? Stefan Housen here. Here's the thing. Been floating with this idea for a while. I want to introduce a new segment to the blog, b90m.com. Please check it out, share all the articles there, but that's not what we're about today. We're here to introduce a new segment to B90. It's going to be a little video podcast where I introduce some views to you. I know a lot of you like challenging me, a lot of you like proving me wrong, and this is going to give you a surefire way to come back at me and have video evidence of the things I say. So hopefully it's a hit with you guys. Hopefully you enjoy it, and hopefully we can do this on a regular. But for the first one, I'm gonna focus on the Euros. The second round of the Euros is about to kick off. But let's look back. I want to look at three players who have disappointed, and three players who have done well, who have lived up to the expectations, so to say. So we're going to start it off pretty simply. Three players who, in the first round of the 2016 European Championships, have disappointed me. The first one is going to be Blaise Matuidi. It's a Frenchman, but it's not the Frenchman that I see a lot of people talking about. Paul Pogba is the one they're talking about, and for the life of me, I can't understand why. The kid's 23 years old. There's only so much you can expect from him, as Arsene Wenger so brilliantly stated. But anyway, let's get back to the topic. Blaise Matuidi. I think he's the worst player on the French team. There's actually a prominent member of the Beyond 90-minute community who described Blaise Matuidi as a better version of Jordan Henderson, or a Jordan Henderson clone, I think it was. Something to that sort. And the more that I watch Blaise Matuidi, I agree with this. I've never been his biggest fan. Never been a fan of that type of midfielder, but he's had his uses. Didier Deschamps loves him. Since taking over, Didier Deschamps has used him more than any player for his national team selection. So he clearly rates him. But so far the tournament, he hasn't shown why. The first two games he had, he played in two different roles, and he was diabolical in both of them. He's been upstaged by his Leicester teammate, his teammate from Leicester, Kante. Big props to him, by the way. He's done well. And overall, he just doesn't look good. And the telling thing about Blaise Matuidi is, in that final game where he didn't play for Sissoko, came in, France looked much better. Not only did they not have him offering nothing in midfield because Sissoko was stepping up, but it also allowed Pogba to play in his favoured role from the left more so of the midfield three, and he impressed. So the fact is, what I've gotten so far from the Euros is when Blaise Matuidi is on the field, he doesn't play well, and Paul Pogba is stifled. That's not a good look for him. That's one of my first disappointments. Second disappointment. This one is kind of humbling because, really and truly, a lot of you know me. A lot of you know my views on Thomas Muller. A lot of you know that I see him as nothing more than a goal scorer who offers little. I still don't see how people can disagree with that. He's a silent assassin. When he is on form, he comes up with big goals at big moments. Before the European Championships, though, I decided to give him a little extra ratings per se. I picked him as a player who I thought was going to have a big Euros. I picked him as a player who I thought was absolutely vital to Germany winning this championship, actually. I stated straight up that if they're going to win, they need Thomas Muller to have his best tournament. 3 games in, has Thomas Muller even arrived? He got an assist in the last game. I'll give him that. His movement looked a little bit better when Gomez was the one spearheading the team instead of Götze. But overall, Thomas Muller has been trash. Simple as. He's been trash. I know the fans of Thomas Muller are going to come at me for saying that, but what is your argument? What has he offered? The first 2 games, next to nothing. He was invisible on the field. He scored no goals. And apart from an assist in the last game, his contribution is almost negligible. Thomas Muller, number 2 disappointment. But yes, the biggest disappointment for me so far, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. What has happened? He had 3 of the worst games I've ever seen him have in a Swedish national shirt. He offered next to nothing for the entire tournament. In fact, I don't think he even had a shot on target. The Zlatan did not have a shot on target in 3 games. It's alarming to me. So much so because when you look at Zlatan, he's just coming off of a fantastic season with Paris. He's likely to reunite with Jose Mourinho at Manchester United. He's supposed to be the one who's going to go over there and have that Cantona effect He's supposed to be the one who transforms Manchester United. But I've had my doubts. When I saw Zlatan dominating last year in Liga, okay, impressive, but if you take Zlatan off that PSG team, they're still going to win Liga. It's not even a question. They're still going to win. My question about Zlatan is when he played in the Champions League, he didn't look good against anybody good. He's disappointed. Going into this Euros, I kind of joked that Zlatan was now going to play with teammates of lesser quality, with a higher level of competition, similar to what he'll face with Manchester United, where he'll go to a team with lesser quality in a league of higher competition. He's flopped for Sweden. He might just flop for Manchester United. You never know. But that's enough of the negatives. Let's move on to some positives. Let's look at 3 players who have impressed at these European Championships. 3 players who have lived up to the expectations. And I think a good place to start is with Wales. Gareth Bale. This is another player who, before the tournament, I wrote an article that said, if Bale wants to be recognized as one of the best players in the world, he needs to show up at these European Championships. And you might question some of his performances. That second game against England, for instance, he wasn't overall very good. He was very isolated for the majority of that game. But he has 3 goals in 3 games. He's led his team to the second round. He topped the group. He's done well. What more could you have asked for him? 2 free kicks, 2 goals. You might say, okay, Joe Hart gave him a free kick. I don't believe that. Yeah, Joe Hart messed up, but the fact is, Gareth Bale stood up, took a free kick, and put it on target. He made the keeper make a decision. The keeper failed. It happens. He tested the keeper, and he won. Ronaldo isn't testing the keepers and winning, but that's a different argument. Overall, Gareth Bale has done well. That first game, very good performance. Second game, little fall off, but that third game he was impressive. Great. I think he even got an assist as well. So you look at the player who has 3 goals and an assist in the European Championships in the first round. He's done well. Superb performances by him. Now we got to move on to another player. Kind of agonized about whether I should include him in the list because he didn't play the last group game and he only played 60 minutes of the second game. But I've decided to do it anyway. Luka Modric. Amazing. We all can see that Luka Modric is one of the best midfield players in the world right now. Top 5 easily. And these European Championships he's demonstrated that. The first game, total domination and control of the midfield by Luka Modric. What an impressive performance. Capped it off with a superb goal. Off the volley. Half the volley dropping right on him Flamini style. Crazy. Second game, we saw it again. Total domination. Cruising. 2-0 up in the 60th minute. He goes down at a little niggle. Croatia decide to take him off. What happens? Haphazard. They lose it instantly. They end up drawing the game. That is how important Luka Modric is to Croatia. He is vital. They lost him in a game that they had comfortably seen themselves in a great position to win and get 3 points. They didn't have him. They lost. 2 points. They didn't lose. But that's how important he is to their system, their philosophy. When Luka is there, Croatia go from a B team to an A team. Luka Modric. He didn't play the third game. And you can say, oh well, they beat Spain without him. Okay, you can come at me with that. But I don't think that is what we should judge it on. Luka Modric, we will all agree, is the best player on the Croatian team. They're going to go up against a Portugal team, and if Luka isn't there, you see Croatia with a chance of losing. If he is there, they should be safely into the next round. But yeah, the last player. The last player who's impressed me a lot, who has stood out for me in almost every game he's played. It's none other than the guy who won the player of the tournament, the last European Championships, I'm pretty sure it was, Andres Iniesta. You guys know who that is, right? Well, if you don't, you're blind, you're dumb, you're everything negative there is in the world. Andres Iniesta has been superb at these championships. Every single game. Even the game they lost against Croatia. He didn't have his best game, but he was still elite. This guy just simply knows football. He has been amazing. He's running the game. He's taken over that Xavi-like control of midfield. He's finding the passes. He's creating chances. He is the key man for Spain. I said it after the first game, that when are we going to finally accept that this guy is one of the best midfielders we've ever seen. Probably the best midfielder of my generation. People think it's blasphemy to compare him to Zinedine Zidane. I don't. I think he's right up there. There's an argument to say who's better between the two. But yeah, that concludes the first edition of this little mini podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, check out the website www.b9tm.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at b9tm.com at b9tm. Come on, engage in debate with us. Share our articles, share our views. Come at us. If you know the game, I want to hear from you. Thanks.